Hello there. Today I was looking for something classic to watch and saw Die Hard. Since it's around Christmas, I figured now's a better time than any to review it. It's an action thriller with a Christmas theme to it. The story follows an off-duty New York police officer who is attending his wife's Christmas party when terrorists show up and take the building and its employees hostage. John McClane takes on the group to save them and put an end to their plans. The film was based on a book by Roderick Thorpe and adapted into a screenplay by Jeb Stewart and Stephen E. D'Souza. It was directed by John McTiernan and stars Bruce Willis as the lead, John McClane, Reginald VelJohnson as his fellow officer, Al Powell, and Alan Rickman as the leader of the terrorists, Hans Gruber. The story starts off pretending to be a drama about an off-duty cop called John McClane who is visiting his estranged family. He goes to his wife's Christmas party to talk about the situation, and while the two of them are there discussing their lives, the party is interrupted by terrorists taking over the building. During the chaos, John escapes and starts thwarting the terrorists' plans by taking them out one by one. He sneaks through the building using the ventilation and elevator shafts, gets into shootouts with the terrorists on empty floors, and even sets off a giant explosion. The story is told through the eyes of John McClane with a few cutaways to the supporting cast. The cutaways give the viewer a better understanding of the situation and allow them to cut between the stories to create tension. The cast comes in three big groups with a few main characters from each of them. There are the hostages, who are mostly scared civilians, with John's wife being the supporting character from this group. The terrorists are armed henchmen, most of whom don't say anything. Among them are a few one-note personalities, and then there is Hans Gruber, the leader. Hans is a smart and charismatic villain who kills anyone who gets in his way. The last group is the cops outside the building who are trying to handle the situation. There's a few cowboys who are thwarted by Gruber and his men, and then there's Alan Powell, a desk jockey that ends up there by chance. He provides emotional support to John in his time of need and takes up arms to defend him toward the end. Finally, you have John McClane himself. John is a wisecracking hero cop who uses his wits to beat Hans and his men almost as much as he uses his gun and his fists. He knows when to run, when to fight, and how to inflict as much damage as possible. He also looks badass while doing it. The visual journey starts at the airport with John arriving in LA and quickly heading to Nakatomi Plaza. The film takes place inside a large building there and the streets surrounding it. The terrorists secure the building and then the cops set up outside of it. Throughout the film, we watch John sneak around floors that are still under construction while interfering with Hans's plans. We get to see a big portion of the building, the lobby, the roof, and a few of its floors. For excitement, you have tense moments where Hans' men close in on John, bloody shootouts between the different groups, and a giant explosion caused by C4. Sound-wise, the film makes use of a few Christmas songs, an original track or two, and a boatload of instrumentals. They use it to set up the atmosphere at the party, to build out Hans and John's characters, and to support the emotional journey throughout the film. The instrumentals are scored orchestral pieces that help elevate each moment during a scene. The original songs come as characters are introduced to help build out their personality, and the Christmas songs are present throughout the film to help keep the theme. Most of the Christmas music comes from the characters singing it themselves. So, how does it hold up? The writing is quite well done, albeit a little fantastical at different points. They do a good job of setting up an interesting scenario and populating the story with likable characters. You want to root for John, and they do a good job of creating tense situations that are exciting. The only problem I had with the story was how easily the villains allowed themselves to be beaten. Often the only reason John can trick them is because they give him a chance to. Hans is included in this. The cast does a good job of their roles, but most of the extras are called to play stereotypes. The leads are a lot more nuanced with some good emotional moments for each of them. For standouts, you had Bruce Willis, Reginald VelJohnson, and Alan Rickman. Willis is called to play a charismatic hero and passes his test with flying colors. He's funny, he looks like a total killer during the action sequences, and when he's asked to put out some deep emotions, he makes you want to cry with him. He carries most of the film on his back and has fantastic chemistry with the other actors. Reginald VelJohnson plays the officer supporting John from the ground. He provides a place for John to voice his thoughts and get information from the outside while also giving John a shoulder to lean on when he's feeling down. They show a fantastic display of friendship, and VelJohnson shows what a good cop is like in the face of corruption and incompetence. Alan Rickman plays the charismatic villain who keeps you guessing as to what he's up to. He jokes around a lot but knows how to get deadly serious when people aren't taking him seriously enough. He provides a good counterbalance to John and presents a credible threat throughout the film. Visually, the film has a clear journey with decent sets, costumes, and visual effects. They did a good job of showing us enough of the building to feel like a real tower, and their ability to create suspense through the editing was incredibly impactful. The action scenes were well put together with lots of shootouts, stealth moments, and a few explosions to keep things interesting. There is a bit of cheesiness to them with all of the added sound effects, but they work well and offer a good bit of excitement and danger. Sound-wise, the film makes effective use of its tracks to support the emotions and pull everything it can out of the story. The scored tracks turn the heat on the suspenseful moments up to 11, and the original songs add a bit of flavor and cheer to the film. As for the Christmas music, whenever John and his allies are singing, the music is happy and nice, and whenever Hans or his crew are singing, it has a sinister vibe to it. Both work wonderfully with the theme. Like John is Santa trying to save Christmas, and Hans is the Grinch trying to ruin it. It adds a ton of flavor to the film. Overall, Die Hard is a true classic film. It takes a good story with great characters and plays it out in a captivating way. There's a lot of good music and some great visuals, and John McClane is a character that you'll never forget. He's so likable and fun while still being a total hero. I'd recommend this film to anyone who likes action films. As for a rating, I'd give this film an 8 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Bye-bye.